With that, do you recommend everybody go gluten-free?
I'm going to say it like this. You can make broad sweeping recommendations, and some people are going to follow those, and other people, they're never even going to make the attempt. I like personalization. I like to know whether or not it's something that I need to do versus something that I should do versus something that maybe I'm just going to dabble in and try. Because if you dabble in going gluten-free, you know, if you're like eating a sandwich and a bowl of cereal and pasta every day, if that's like your breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and so you decide you're going to reduce your gluten, and all you're going to do is eat that sandwich, you're not going to see much benefit. You're not going to see much gain. So you want to keep that in mind too. Going gluten-free is a decision that requires a lot of action. Just like choosing to start working out and working hard, that's a decision. You're not going to do it halfway. You're going to go all in or not. Well, I recommend if you're going gluten-free, go all in or not. Now back to your question, Travis, which is, you know, do I recommend that everybody goes gluten-free? Here's the thing, it won't hurt you to go gluten-free. There's no scientific reason why you need gluten in your diet. So I would at the very least say everybody should attempt a gluten-free diet for at least 4 to 6 weeks and see how they do, see how they feel. If they feel better, the proof is always in the pudding. If you're running faster, if you're lifting better, that's the proof right there. But the other thing that you got to keep in mind when you're going gluten-free, especially if you're going paleo, your workout can actually suffer for the first 1.5 to 2 weeks as your metabolism makes a shift from being used to all those calories coming from grain to a shift of more of a vegetable and meat protein-based caloric intake. So keep in mind sometimes there's a 7 to 10 day transition period where you're actually going to be a little bit more tired as opposed to not.
Those are definite good tips. One last thing I want to talk about, and this is for people that are, you know, really kind of buying into this and wanting to try it. What are your general recommendations as far as like what to eat? So when you're going to be cutting out all your grains, that's some of the biggest feedback I get is like, well, if I'm going to be cutting out my grains, what should I replace with that? What do you recommend?
So there's 3 rules of nutrition.
As far as performance.
Yeah, there's 3 rules of nutrition. The first rule is you can't get healthy, you can't stay healthy, you can't recover healthy eating foods that are not healthy, right? And that's unique to the individual. The other rule is never eat anything you're allergic and intolerant to. And the third rule is if it makes you feel bad, stop eating it. But what do we eat when we're gluten-free? In other words, what can we eat? What can we consume? Well, the first thing is any animal meat that you like. So buffalo, beef, chicken, fish. I have a few rules though. You want to choose high quality meat because if you're feeding your body feedlot cattle, right? That's not high quality. That's not good fuel for you. So you want to look, if it's beef, you want to go with a grass-fed version. If you're going with chicken, you want to look for free-range organic. Same thing with your eggs, free-range organic. If you're using a protein supplement, make sure it's coming from cows, okay, that are being very well taken care of and grass-fed, not those feedlot cows being pumped up with hormones so they can produce more milk. When it comes to, so that's what the basic rules for meat. When it comes to fish, make sure they're wild caught, because if they're wild caught, you know what they feed non-wild caught fish? They feed them genetically modified soy and corn. Now, I don't know about you, but I've never seen a fish jump out of the ocean into a cornfield for a snack. It doesn't make good sense, and I wouldn't put that as fuel in my body. When it comes to the other types of foods that you should be eating, vegetables. There's 300 different varieties of fruits and vegetables. If you're thinking that going gluten-free might restrict your diet, you're dead wrong. What you're actually going to see is that as you try different fruits and vegetables, you're going to expand your diet in a whole way that you never really knew existed. And so what I would recommend is eat ample amounts of vegetables, 8 to 10 servings a day. You really can't go wrong there. The high levels of fiber, B vitamins, and other nutrients that are rich in vegetables. Just look for organic, and the reason why you want to go with organic is there's a lot of evidence on the genetically modified foods or the foods that have added pesticides that can actually slow down the healing process and can cause inflammation in the muscles too. So you want to try to avoid anything that's not organic or try to avoid anything that's genetically modified. Beyond that, you've got nuts, the tree nuts, almonds, pistachios, walnuts, cashews, pecans, hazelnuts, pine nuts. There's a lot of variety of the different nuts, and those will give you a lot of energy. So like if you're trying to transition from that high carbohydrate diet that you're on right now to more of a kind of a meats, fruits, and vegetables, nuts diet, then those nuts can kind of help give you more of that energy that you are lacking as a result of missing out on a lot of those complex carbs coming from the grains. But realize this too, fruits and vegetables are carbs. So if you really need more carbohydrate, just go with more vegetables. You can't go wrong with that. You can overdo fruits. You can get too much sugar, and that can put a stifle on how ripped you get or how cut you get. But the vegetables aren't going to traditionally, they're not going to do that to you. So you can eat as many of those as you want.
Awesome. Well, there you have it from the Gluten Free Warrior himself. A lot of great information. And what I'm going to do is post up a link if you want to find out more information about Pete and what he does. He supplies just a wealth of information. The first time I heard him speak, he was talking about athletic performance and gluten-free diet, and it just blew my mind away, and I bought into it. I myself, I gotta admit, I'm not 100% gluten-free. However, I follow an 80-20 diet, paleo, 80% of the time, strict paleo throughout the week, and then I'll have maybe 1 or 2 cheat meals that might include some sort of gluten in it. But other than that, I'm gluten-free, feeling better than I've ever felt. Performance is better, strength is up, energy is up, and what Pete just talked about is golden stuff. So, you got anything else to leave us with, man?
Now, if you want to visit me, you can come visit me at glutenfreesociety.org. Beyond that, I just challenge you to take on the diet. I mean, the diet is, you know, any trainer will tell you diet is 90%. You know, the training is 10%. The diet's the other 90%. So keep that in mind as you're thinking in your head that this might be too hard for you to tackle.
And again, you recommended, what, 10 days to go gluten-free? So challenge yourself about 10 days?
6 weeks, go gluten-free 6 weeks, but be prepared for the first 10 days to maybe be a little bit more fatigued as your body's metabolism makes a shift.
Awesome. Again, thanks, Pete, for your time and your knowledge. Thanks for listening in. Again, Travis Stetzel, travisstetsel.com, trainaggressive.com. Keep living aggressive, getting strong. I'm out.